Well, hello everyone. Going to do another video about the history of the American Silver Eagle. We did a previous one where I covered 1986 to 1992, which was, every year was the same. I mean, there was really not much to tell, but I just kind of chugged through it, just kind of at least showing the coins. So this is 1993, which had a few extra things going on, so it'll take a little bit longer. So I'll just do 1993 in this video. So here's the main 1993 coins. Here's the bullion, 1993. So not much interesting there, but there's mine, 1993. My bullion coin right there. You see no mint mark on it. Those were minted in West Point in San Francisco. West Point was starting to take over more or less the production. Is what, 5.5 million were done at West Point, and 1.2? Yeah, 1.2 million. Just kind of rough numbers were done in San Francisco on the bullion. So primarily these were done. This one, of course, isn't graded, so no idea exactly where it came from. Well, it's not graded, and also, of course, it doesn't have any heritage as far as what mint it came from. So anyways, there's my 1993 bullion that I have. And then kind of the big news in 1993 is production of the proof went to Philadelphia. So we're all kind of excited. You know, we're going to have the Philadelphia the Philadelphia congratulations at proof next year. So it's kind of a exciting sort of turn of events. But this is the first time Philadelphia had done a proof Silver Eagle, and they did it for, 93 through about 2000, so about 7 years. But yeah, there's your P mint mark, so 1993. Philly, right there it is, and it's pretty nice shape. Anything wrong with that is on the capsule, I guess. As far as the OGP, which are the original government packaging, I get kind of into that, and it's purple. It's the last year for the purple. After this, it turns into blue or black? Blue, I guess. Anyway, so that's the last purple clamshell right there, and then the COA. That's the last time they had the COA that actually had the photograph. You see the 1993 date on there, so an actual photograph of a 1993 Silver Eagle. So it'll change after this year. It's the last year that they did that, and the COAs in this time frame all pretty much common. I'll just open that up. You see David Ryder was a mint director there, in case you wanted to look at that. Since I don't have like 6 or 7 years to go through, I guess I can just kind of show that really quick. But there's a 1993 COA. So now, to get into the more exciting stuff, so that's the bullion and the bullion and the proof. There they are right there. So to back up a little bit, in 1992 was the 200th anniversary of the U.S. Mint, of the Philadelphia Mint. So in 1992, so backing up a year, they made 2 medals. So this is 1.5 inch bronze medal. I probably should start some metal. That's right. You got to make sure you flip that the right way. But that's considered the obverse right there. You can see the dates on there, 1792 to 1992. And it's depicting a photograph by, I have a cheat sheet here, John Ward Dunsmore. It is one that did that painting. If you wanted to look that up, that's called Inspecting the First Coins. And I know it's kind of hard to tell on this one, but you got Martha Washington. You got George Washington standing behind her. You can just Google up that picture. Actually, I think I might be able to insert the portrait that was done, that this design was based on. So that's what that is. So you can see that's the Bicentennial. It's for the Philadelphia Mint. And then the back, going back to that, then they have 15 coins. And I think I can list what all those coins are, but starts down here and kind of spirals around and shows various coins. Some you probably recognize. You got the Kennedy half is right there, the Washington quarter. There's a lot of them that you probably, there's some I'm not all that familiar with. You can see the wheat cent right down there is like the second one. It kind of spirals around. So it's kind of a cool design. So that's the 1.5-inch bronze. But here's the other thing. I call my manhole cover. Let me grab that. Flip it around. So there, if you couldn't see it on that one, there you go. Size comparison. They also did a 3-inch bronze. This, to me, it looks almost like an uncirculated finish. It's not exactly a proof. This I've heard described as a sandblasted finish, which, yeah, that's what it looks like. But that's the same thing. So maybe a little bit easier to see in this image, I guess. You got Martha Washington. That's George, I guess. And I don't know. You again, if you're really interested, you can just kind of Google that up. That inspecting the first coin's portrait, and then there again is the reverse of that one. Maybe let's see if my light would help here a little bit. No light. There we go. There's a little light on the subject. One thing that is unusual on the two medals. I'll see if I can zoom in. If you can see that. Right there, people make a big deal out of this. The S mint mark right there doesn't belong there. Not on a 32. On a 32, the mint mark was on the reverse, not the obverse. So then I'll have to move along to stuff right now. They did fix that in the next thing I'm going to show you. But that is the same if you zoom in on... I don't know if it's going to work for me or not. Yeah, you can barely see, like right there. So my fingers, fingers are gross when you zoom in on them, right? Anyway, at least mine are. But yeah, you can see that there's a mint mark on both the 1.5-inch and the 3-inch medals. So that's those. So then here's the other thing. So forward, fast forwarding a year to 93. Let's go with the box. This thing, it's called the Philadelphia set. So this is basically, it's bicentennial set. The first coins were issued by the Philadelphia Mint in 1793. So they decided to do this set. I've got it emptied out so I don't have to turn the phone on and off. But then here is, and that should look like next year, right? 95, that should look like a little bit familiar. They did this book form, but there is the outside of it, the Philadelphia set. That is hopefully that's green. It almost looks bluish in my camera here. But then here it is. So got that. So what you've got that metal right there in silver. It's 90%. You don't get an ounce. You don't get a $50 gold eagle, but you get the 25, the 10, and the 5. So the 1/2 ounce, 1/4 ounce, and the 1/10 ounce are in that. So it was a little bit expensive. It was $499 is what the original cost of this set was, and they only made 12,698. The thing about it, yeah, it's got the silver eagle, right? It's just a Philadelphia. It was such a big deal in 95. Most of you, I'm sure, are aware of that. The 1995 W, right? That 10th anniversary set had that 1995 W Silver Eagle in it, which was a big deal. It was exclusive to that set. This is not an exclusive coin. This is just a Philadelphia. I'll show you the back side of it. This is kind of typical on the Eagle. You'll notice that toning on it. It's almost blackish, purplish, and goes most of the way around. You can see the toning around that. That is very, and right there on the sun too. That's very typical for this set. They say, I'm no expert, they say that's because of the green pigment in this cardboard that is set, and that is all one big piece of plastic. They're not individually encapsulated. So that is kind of typical for the Silver Eagle to do that. And again, that's 90%. So again, that is the same image. It just says Philadelphia, though it does not have a date on it. So it was made in 1993. The only way to get that thing is in this set. So that's actually more of the big deal. But to me, I just like having the set. For me, it's also a big deal for me because it's actually the first set that a Silver Eagle was in. This is it right here. Up until this point, again, it was just the bullion and the proof. But then 1993, here you go. It's finally in something else. And then you can just flip this whole thing. It looks like a book binding, right? So you flip it over. And here's another kind of a cool thing about this. Do you notice That's a metal, right? There's no dollar amount on it. What did I just do, right? I had to flip the thing around, right? Because it's regular coin orientation. Usually a metal is not. Look at that. They're all the same. If that was coin orientation right now, that would be upside down. But it's not. So I'll do that again. I'll flip this over. Flip it all the way around. See, it's all upright. And again, remember, there's no dollar denomination on that. That is a metal. But in order to see that, catching it? So it's kind of cool that that's actually a metal, but that is coin orientation, not metal orientation. Metal orientation, again, it's like this. That's right. And they flip it sideways, right? And that's how you read it. But so that's what they did on the 1.5 inch and the 3 inch coins. But I don't know if I've ever seen a metal before that is like that, where it's coin orientation. But anyways, just getting back, and again, it's maybe not as badly toned. Again, that's just a P. It's just a normal silver eagle for 1993. So anyways, it's the back side of it. Oh, and here, in case anyone wanted to just kind of like freeze the camera and look at that, so that's the COA for the Philadelphia set. The back side, again, if you want to just kind of read it, it's all about, you know, the gold eagles that are in there, and the silver eagle and the Philadelphia medal. So hopefully you had a chance to look at that. And then same thing there about the designs. And then just the COA. I don't believe that it's signed by David Ryder. That does not look like it's hand signed to me. I doubt it, right? So just to hold that down in case anyone did want to freeze that and look at it. Well, all right. Well, there's 1993 for you. So I will just try chugging along here and try getting some of these other years done as well. So you all take care.